Welcome back to Up the Villa podcast. Welcome to Transfer Hub, the home of news, rumours, links, everything you'll find it on this channel. So welcome back. Yesterday, what a day. What a day. That was 3 episodes. It was absolutely mental. Content galore yesterday. A little bit more of a chilled one. We're coming in with sort of talking about what happened yesterday. We've got a new rumour / link to talk about as well. So Villa fans, love to hear your thoughts. Love for you to get involved in the comment section down below. Hit a like on this video and just get involved. Aston Villa are back in action tomorrow. First game of the new season in pre-season. So we are going to be doing a live watch along on the channel. We're going to be starting about 12:30 and then we'll go through the whole game. Join us, get involved, chat along with us. It should be a really good live stream. So plenty of you in there, plenty of you chatting about Aston Villa as well and just get questions in and we can just have a good old discussion on there for sort of 90 minutes plus. So it should be a really good one. So hopefully some of you can join us. I know a lot of you then will ask, where can we watch it? It is on Villa TV. I think it's $4.99. You can buy the 3 games. You can buy the Lazio, Warsaw and Valencia. I think it's about $4.99. I don't work for Villa, but I'm plugging them. I'm plugging it for you, Villa. So I think you can buy the 3 for something like $14.99. But then the other 3 games that we're playing in the USA, that is a Premier League tournament, so Villa cannot stream the Premier League rights to that. So that is on Sky Sports. I think it's on Sky Sports main event. So there we go. There we go. That's how you can watch it, and then I'll be sort of doing a watch along, sort of like so we can chat and etc. Talk about the game, the system, who's playing, who's bagging all the goals against Warsaw. So there we go. So that's a bit of what we've got to come tomorrow. Yesterday, we had the news of the Moussa Diaby, another bid going in. I feel like there's another bid that's gone in. So I think we might potentially be on our 3rd and final bid. I think that's what I'm reading from all the rumours and stuff. So another bid has gone in. So it does look like we are heavily linked with Moussa Diaby. We have done a transfer hub on Moussa Diaby as well, so be sure to catch my thoughts on that one. But yeah, it feels like Tielemans was done. Pau Torres, main defensive target, is done. Let's go out and get now our next target, who is our wide player. And I imagine when that one's done, we can filter down to the next target as well. So it's really exciting. I'm loving life as a Villa fan at the minute. It's absolutely fantastic. It's so great when you look on social media, isn't it? And like, who was this one that I saw today? Like, his name was like something like Humble Football Fan, and he's like a Chelsea fan, and he's like, genuine, serious question, but where are Villa getting all the money from? And it's like, mate, can like no other team apart from like the top 6 like show any ounce of ambition and like try and make signings? So that one really like made me laugh. The fact that like top 6 fans like wondering why we are doing bits and why we are spending money and where the money is coming from. Like, mate, you've just spent like 600 million in one transfer window. So that one, I feel like it's going to happen. If someone had to say to me, what's your percentage on Moussa Diaby signing for Villa? I'd probably say I'm at about 70%. I don't buy into this Saudi link. Apparently that team are on a transfer ban as well, so it's very unlikely that they're going to be able to spend that amount of money on Moussa Diaby with a transfer ban sort of hanging over them. So I feel like, I'm quite chill on Moussa Diaby. I think that one's going to happen. Percy at the back post. He's not really been at the back post for a while, has he? But we'll still give Percy that title at the back post. Luca Dean involved in a deal for Brennan Johnson. Now, this is an interesting one because yesterday we had the Brennan Johnson link. And we did an episode on Brennan Johnson. But it's come out that Luca Digne may be used in a potential deal. Nottingham Forest want Luca Digne. My general vibe on that is I was on a Everton fan channel a couple of days ago talking about Ashley Young, and they asked me what I thought of Luca Digne. And basically he was like, what do you think of him? Like, he's not really playing that much. And I was kind of like, he's actually playing quite a bit. When you look back to last season, we think, okay, we've bought in Moreno. You'd expect him to be, technically, first choice. But they were really utilised to about a 60-40, a 70-30 maybe, in favour of Moreno starting games. And then Luca Digne would come on and do his role in games. So they were used quite a lot together. So with that in mind, I actually do feel like Unai does like Luca Digne, and my honest thoughts on him are and were to this Everton channel that when I watch him, I just feel like that there's more. There's a bit more in there. There's a bit more to give. We're still waiting to see that sort of well-rounded player, and I think Bailey falls into that bracket a little bit of. I like him. I like both of them. I think they've got good attributes, but I'm always thinking, go on then. Like, what's that next step? Where's its next delivery? Let's kick on. Let's get consistency. Let's get a run of performances where I'm like, do you know what? Yeah, I get it. I get why you are at Villa. I get what you offer Villa, but I'm still a little bit like that with Luca Digne. So you've got the other thing with Luca Digne as well, that he is, in the side. He's out the side. He's in the side. So he's not technically second choice because he still does play a lot of minutes for Aston Villa. It's not like Moreno plays 90 after 90 after 90 and Luca Digne's waiting for his opportunity. It's not that type of scenario. And then I can see on the other hand where we're trying to go with the new targets and who we're trying to bring in, and he's on a wedge. He's on an absolute wedge. He's on what is he on, nearly 150? Is that what he's touted to be on at Villa? 140, something like that, in and around that bracket. So that's a lot of money for Villa. That's one of Villa's highest earners, and he's not technically first name on the team sheet sort of thing, which you'd expect from the players that are the highest earners at Villa. So what I would imagine is, which I imagine is the same for certain players, and maybe every player has their price. If the right money comes in, I think we would let him go. So I think that's the general vibe. That's my vibe of it anyway. I think if the right money comes in, we would probably sell. We're linked with the young lad from Valencia as well, aren't we? The fullback. So maybe we are looking for that as well. And I think something that's important to remember in this window, which I think we can forget a little bit, and I think it's AVF Scout mentioned to me yesterday on a tweet, because he felt like I was a little bit sort of harsh towards Brennan Johnson's style of play, and I think maybe that's a fair comment, is that we are still building for the future, and I think that's an important thing to remember. So there will and probably will be some young players that come into this Aston Villa side that we don't get sort of like blindsided by all of these big names, these big links, these exciting players. I think there may potentially be some younger players that come in because Unai's vision, and I think this is probably where my thinking is at, and I need to sort of realise, is that for the last couple of years, it's been the here and now. We've been scrambling to sort of get set, and all we're after is that fix for now. Like I mentioned a couple of episodes ago about the windows, where I always feel like we're looking for that next window. We're just focusing on the next one, and we're never really thinking about a couple of windows ahead of where we could potentially be. And I think it's important now to start thinking of the recruitment for the long term. So shout out to AVFC Scout. You changed my thinking yesterday. So shout out to you. So I think these young players, and when we're looking at and praising teams like Brighton for their recruitment, we praise them. But whenever we get linked with sort of like a player that's not top bracket, it's like, no, we should be going for these. When really, I think some of these youngsters could be coming in. It's rightly so that I know we'll counteract this comment now with, but we should be playing our own youngsters, which is a completely fair comment. Now, I go and watch the youngsters. I go and watch the under-21s. So I think I have a good understanding of the players that are still in and around Villa that haven't been on loan. And I think there is only a small bracket of the ones that have been out on loan, such as the Irabunans, such as the Archers, such as the Ramseys, such as maybe the Bidaces of the world, that are fundamentally even in the same sentence as potentially being in the squad. When are we talking about the under-21s that are still at Bodymore Heath playing in the under-21s or under-23s, whatever they call it, they're a long, long way off. They are a long, long way off from being involved in a match day squad. There's some really good players like Kellyman. Amari Kellyman, for me, is one of the brightest players that will come out of that academy. He's fantastic. With the ball at his feet, he's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Rory Wilson, absolute baller, can finish from anywhere, but he needs to grow in himself. Like, he just needs to grow. Feeney, absolutely love Feeney's reading of the game. I think he's fantastic. But at this moment in time, they're not ready. So there's only the ones that have been out on loan for me that I personally think are in the conversation. And this is what pre-season's about. They're all going to be heavily involved tomorrow at Walsall. And then some of them then will go on the tour. Some of them will leave and go out on loan. Sinisalo, I think, is going to join Exeter after tomorrow. So, it's not just putting youngsters into the Villa side for the sake of you wanting youth to come through. Fundamentally, they have to be good enough, and that's the bottom line. So if they're not good enough, then they can't potentially they're not ready, and they have to be good enough, So I think that's where I'm at with youth, and I know I've gone off it, and we haven't even spoke about the player that we are currently linked to in the title and the thumbnail. But that's where I'm at, basically. And I know when we were looking for a right back, weren't we? Because we've sold Ashley Young, and I saw a lot of fans saying, this is Kane-Kes the Hayden's chance. Million miles away. Absolute million miles off it for me. So going forward, good. Defensively, not for me. Not for me at all. So there we go. That's where my vibe at is with the recruitment, with the youth coming through, and sort of, the Brighton mould where they get all these youngsters, sign them, get them in, and then they develop and grow really well. So I think what my fundamental line is I'm trying to make is, although we're going to get these nice, expensive, obliterating the transfer sort of, record fee that we've paid for a player, I do see some sort of youngsters coming through, So we know he's good at bringing through the youth, which is what we're yet to see. We're yet to see Emery sort of bringing players through like a Smith Rowe. We yet to see that, aren't we? But hopefully we will see that. But, I imagine he'll want to bring some youngsters through himself as well. So that's where I'm at. So 15 minutes in, shut up and talk about what's in the title. So Nicolás González, agent has offered the same player to Aston Villa and Wolves. He'll push for exit if playing time is not guaranteed. So Nicolás González, His agent is Jorge Mendes, and he has spoke about... However, if it becomes clear he will not get minutes this season, the best for him to do would be for an exit. If he receives offers from clubs such as Aston Villa and Wolves, then he will study them. Those two have been offered the player by Jorge Mendes, who is his agent, and ready to move if it becomes clear that he needs to leave this summer. Wolves would make sense, of course, given Mendes' power there and the fact that several midfielders have moved on from Julian Lopetegui's side. Aston Villa less so, as they've strengthened their midfield already with the signing of Yuri Tillemans and already had options in that area. So this is a little cheeky link, and it's a young player who plays for Barcelona, who went out on loan to Valencia and had a really good breakthrough season at Valencia. He's very technical, very skilled on the ball, reads the game really, really well, has had the Barca DNA ingrained into his style. He's got technical skills and he's intelligent, reads the game really well. And I think this one feels quite good, really, to have sort of like a central midfielder that's young, that's vibrant. When I do see him play, I haven't seen him play a lot, but he does remind me a little bit like Luis, of Luis's tempo of sort of slowing it and speeding it up. He's got that tempo vibe, reads the game well, can cover a lot of ground quite well as well. You know, he's been schooled, like I say, by that Barca DNA, that technicality, that sort of that silky smooth style that some of their midfielders have. So, you know, it's an exciting one. He's not defensive, but he's sort of in the middle ground, I'd say. Can do a bit of everything, can sort of break through a line, but knows where to sort of step in and put a tackle in. So it is an exciting link, I think, because it's something a little bit different from this window. You know, we've been linked with wingers and etc. So, you know, a midfielder feels quite good. And I do still think we may sign another central midfielder. I think once this winger gets sorted, I would like another midfielder in there. I just feel like I want another little central midfielder in there for some reason. In the back of my head, I still think we need one. So if we have a look at his SOFA score at Valencia, it was a 6.73. You can see there his technical ability rating is 78%. He's only 21 years of age, right-footed, heat map. So if you have a look at his heat map, it's kind of in front of that double pivot. So he could potentially play the Ramsey vibe or the McGinn vibe either side. Looks like he can play both. So maybe he's interchangeable. Maybe we could just deploy him at one side and then another game and another. We don't know. But I think that's something to keep an eye on. Played 26 games, 18 started, 1 goal. I think this is where we want to look at his stats. 87% passing accuracy, 89 in his own half, 86 in the opposition half. Very, very strong. He plays 1 tackle per game. Successful dribbles, this is good, 82%. Duels won 53, 50 ground duels, 64 aerial duels. So he's got that presence aerially as well. So I think that's good. Market value, 10 million. So I think the fee was in and around 10 million that I saw from a different source as well. So the fee's not too high either. And then if we have a look at his stats per 90, pass completions, 86%. We've got successful take-ons, 1.79. We've got aerial duels really high as well, and interceptions at 1.22 per 90 as well. So I like the look of this one, Villa fans. I like it. It's an exciting link. I think it shows that this window, we're adaptable. So there we go. Those are my thoughts on Nicolás González from Barcelona. My thoughts on the window. Went off on one at the start. This is why you're all here. So cheers, everybody. Thanks for all the support, and up the Villa.